help you to pick up. But when cholesterol has blocked that vein or artery that's supposed to carry the blood to the vein, to the penis, my friend, you're in trouble. Another thing you need to watch out for is numbness. Um, Numbness can also be a sign because blood will not reach the extremities. Once the cholesterol blocks the vein, blood is not going to reach the extremities, your vein, your toes, all the kind. You start to have numbness. Cholesterol can also cause vision loss. It can make you blind or make your vision to be dull, simply because blood is not reaching the optic nerve. Yeah, you know, I told you about the optic nerve before when we were talking about glaucoma. The optic nerve is that nerve that is at the back of your brain, connected to the at the back of your eye. I'm sorry, connected to the brain. It helps you to see. It can give signal to the brain for you to see. So when that doesn't, blood doesn't reach it, it's a problem. All right. Dizziness is another sign. Fatigue is another sign. Loss of memory is another sign. Shortness of breath is another sign. And the swollen feet and ankles. When you have swollen feet and ankles, it's also another sign. Even though that could also be the result of diabetes and other things. But be careful when you see those things. All right? Remember this. Holding your urine for too long can promote bacterial growth in the bladder. Just because you're watching a football game, especially you sitting in the background, because you're watching football game, I don't know who your team is, whether Barcelona or who, you're watching football game. The people making the millions of dollars on us, one kick in the goal there, 150,000. You even got car to go to work. Now you're sitting watching a football game. PP jam you. You refuse to go PP. You won't hold it until the game ends. You're looking for trouble. All right? So anybody who is sitting somewhere, don't be too busy to go PP when PP jam you. It can result to the increase of UTI. And UTI is urinary tract infection, very dangerous. It can also lead to the weakness of the muscles of the bladder. It can also cause kidney problem. So holding your PP is not a good thing, my friend. PP jam, you go PP quick because it can promote bacteria in the bladder. So don't take it light. So you would like to watch football game, you want to go PP, know your business. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. But before I let you go, why are you always attacking me?
Oh, hey, my friend.
So
Hey,
that
okay.
so
Yeah,
that how you used to do Chelsea, huh?
no, if I
Oh,
do
so
Chancellor, I will get my job here.
so that means you ever.
No, no, you are able. And you the one always calling my age, making the people to run away from me.
Who
So,
people?
oh man, I know your business. You need that one.
Who people?
Hey, my man, man, you know.
I don't know anything. You are not in there with you. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh.
that your business.
Okay. Good day.
Yeah. Okay, bye bye.
Yes. Thank you, David, for the health tips. I mean, these tips are very important for our daily routine because these simple things, sometimes if you don't observe them, may lead to sometimes major health problem for you. So we'll go down to bring you the review of the local dailies this morning. Um, yes, let's go for the review of the local dailies. Oh, we'll get Bray out here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, sorry.
The guy still talking.
Yeah, they got to explain the security web is there. Where is he? Okay, they got to. Yes, and so welcome to the review of the local dailies. Here, a regular segment of the show. And our first paper here this morning is the newspaper. On the front page of the newspaper, COFA declares corn illegal. Petitions Supreme Court, where I'm seeing a photograph of the two members of the House of Representatives, captured right here on the front page of the newspaper, Richard Nambwe Kun and Jonathan Fonanti Kofa. And still on the front page, Public Works Minister mandated to fix Chikisu Factory Road. Governance. This person signing looked Madam Emma Glasgow. I'm seeing here. 16 days of activism. Ministry issue alert on dismissed criminal employees. Criminal employees. Issues alert. A copy of this paper, you read detail of these stories. The final one, Catholic Education Secretariat awarded for high tax compliance. This is from the weekend during the LRA Taxpayers Appreciation Week. Then in my possession is the independent newspaper. As I read 2024 reports reveals 20 lawmakers flung. East Coast F as PYG, Kanga Lawrence and others get a policy mark. Supreme Court hearings Speaker Koufax petition today as still ordered unfolds on the front page of the independent newspaper. And then on the back page of the independent newspaper, Liberia's fisheries DG signed MOU in Egypt. That is on the back page of the independent newspaper. Still on the back page, Liberian arrested with drugs in India. Liberian arrested with drugs in India. Why 6 year the MIA, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, prints 20,000 traditional marriage certificates on the back page of the independent newspaper. For the Daily Observer newspaper, the banner headline: "Be aware of treason." Well, I think this is the editorial. This is the editorial. Be aware of treason. In Representative Richard Kuhn and Kofa capture on the front page of the Daily Observer newspaper. The front page of the Daily Observer newspaper: No war coming to Liberia. AFL Chief of Staff allays Liberians fear joins U.S. ambassador to conduct a real patrol visits to Lofa and other counties. Important story, and is in the Daily Observer newspaper. $40 for a copy of the paper. Solid subsidiary receives second highest taxpayer award for 2022. Of revenue windfall for Liberia. The back page of the Daily Observer newspaper, United Methodist Church suspends eminent Methodist preacher Reverend Jerry Kula of allegedly promoting global Methodist Church agenda. There's a major story here being reported in the Daily Observer newspaper. This is one of the major stories in the paper this morning. Finally, on the back page of the Daily Observer newspaper, Supreme Court intervenes in houses crisis, restrains majority bloc demands a return to status quo. Is the final story on finally for my end here, the front page, boosting the erects Janai, U.S. embassy calls for peaceful outcome to Liberia legislative circuit, urges respect for the rule of law or for the rule of law, U.S. embassy, and then on the front page of the front page newspaper, we see that in battle her speaker, Honorable J. Kofa alongside with finance minister with a few members of the Hawks on the front page newspaper. So finally, we'll take the Heritage, and I'm only seeing the front page of the Heritage newspaper here. LTA signs consumers protection regulations. Where I'm seeing the acting board chair Abdullah Kamara capture right here, along with nurse. I can recognize Patrick Horner. I'm seeing Ben Fofana all capture right here on the front page of the Heritage. Time O begins MSA's audit on Liberia's port. Finally, to boost fisheries and aquaculture sector, Liberia, Egypt forged a partnership. That's it for the review of the local dailies. Like we've always said, most of these papers, or almost 95% of the papers, are sold for 40 Liberian dollars. The last time we said we want to call on the papers to just sell for $50 across the board. I know people will say maybe you're trying to make the paper, costly or expensive, but I think we can just do the 50 across the board. Somebody looking for $10 coins to give it already. There are reports that the young children are swallowing the $5 and $10 coins. So you just buy the paper $50 and that is it. Yeah, you're John, a veteran Alfonso Toy, and just sell the paper for $50 across the board. Liberians can buy, paper for $50. It won't matter. Yeah, so that's it. But you can get most of these papers for $40. Some are 50, and a couple of them are 30 Liberian dollars. Yeah, so that's it for the review of the local dailies. Again, welcome to the Truth Breakfast Show. We are here up to 10 o'clock this morning. It's 16 minutes past 8. And yes, Ansu, again, a lot of things to talk about in this country. Sometimes we deliberately ignore some of the issues, especially these issues that people sensationalize, maybe just to get public attention. Sometimes maybe just for, especially on the various social media platforms. Some of these things, we try to, what we call the gatekeeping. Some of these things are not really necessary for people, so we sometimes deliberately overlook them and give Liberian population what they need to hear. And the goal is to encourage. What we need to do now as the people is to what we call inclusive development agenda. We should be able to broadcast in a way that we encourage Liberians to form part of what we do as a country, to move forward. Sometimes some of these divisive statements, some of them on Facebook and different or across different social media platforms. Sometimes we deliberately overlook some of them and bring the most important ones to our Liberian people. So, good morning to all of you across the country. Again, just outside of our talking points, it is a passionate plea to us as Liberians. No matter what position you are in, whether you are a political person, whether you are a religious person, whether you are a young person, an elder, wherever you find yourself as a Liberian, I think it is crucial now that we put our little efforts together to see how best we can move this country forward, to see how best we can collectively address our economic issues, how best we can collectively work together to address our infrastructure development issues, and all of that. What I've come to realize in the maybe the last decade, I can say in the last decade, is that the country has become overly political, that you cannot distinguish election period from normal time. Okay. Liberia has become so political in the last decade that you cannot distinguish between election period and normal period. Before, people do politics or hatch politics during the course of election. When elections are over, sometimes you will see in a community there will be reconciliatory program, sometimes headed by the representative elect, sometimes the senator, sometimes even leaders of the community. They will organize a reconciliatory program where you will see football activities, of sports, and you will see community meetings, and people will, smoke the peace pipe, because normally during the course of election there will be bitter changes and all of that. And when we do that, normally the normal reconciliation thing, and we move on as a country. But that has not been the case in Liberia, at least for the past 10 years. Liberians have become bitter with each other over what we call politics. Politics is a science that some people dedicated their time, went to school and studied, and they should be doing politics. But this time, everybody in Liberia is a politician. Is a politician, and social media has exacerbated this issue. That when you go to Facebook, the hate message, people who used to sit in the same space before, some of them don't see eye to eye, only because they are supporting politicians. But the the part about it is that these people whom they are supporting and hating on each other, they are friends in the back.
Yeah.
These people are friends in the back. They meet at the five-star hotels where they go to have lunch, go to Royal Grand, go to Boulevard Palace, go to other places. You meet them there. They're having lunch. They are laughing at us. Some of us, the other supporters, they're laughing at you. See, you see, I said my beginner to deal with you last weekend, eh? And you said I'm a beginner to deal with you.
Exactly. So
And they are laughing about it.
Yeah.
And you are outside here bitter. Instead of us as young people focusing on the little we can do to improve. How young are we now? We are going towards our 40s. We have children. In Africa, at the age of, like for me, at the age of 23, I'm having two children. We remain small and start making family already. Instead of trying to build these things, we put ourselves in the politician's court. What they're supposed to do to each other, we do it to I mean, we fight for them. They proxy fight to the extent that we have made this country so bitter. I want to use this precious time this morning to appeal to our Liberian people. The country is hot, or for lack of better words, I can say it's tense. The country is politically tense. Right now, you can't distinguish between election time and normal time in Liberia. When you go to social media, seditions are hating, MPC people are hating, LPP, Tiawan people are hating, Unity Party people too, who's supposed to just sit down and say, oh, we'll make correction, they are there too. I don't know whether that counter attack they on. Everybody just going helter scatter on the social media and in the country. People want to be the integrity icon, to go in deep into government, bring out information to make the country. Sometimes you feel that when you are doing some of these things, you are doing it maybe to oppressing. Maybe you think you are doing it to the president, you think you are doing it to the minister, you think you are doing it to the representative sometimes. But sometimes on a larger to a larger extent, you are doing it to the country, to the image of the country. Where is our love for country? Where is our love for country? Let's agree there's corruption. Let's agree, which is an age old something that we must fight in this digital world to tackle. But
Continue fighting.
we have really divided this country on political lines, and I just wanted to say this to Liberians that the responsibility is on our shoulder as a people to reconcile ourselves. Even if leaders are not reconciling us, let us reconcile ourselves as young people. We have done passive fight for politicians so much in this country to the extent that we almost hate each other everywhere.
Our people have politicized everything. So whether it's in the interest of the country, whether this is going to do a better thing for the country, they have politicized everything. And what we are uh, talking about now in our country is no more about Liberia. It's no more about seeing this country moving maybe and forward. Talking about developing our country, transforming this nation is no more. It has all tend to people personal interests. Marka, whether it's not me, it can be you. You know, even if this person here is in office, empowered, and they have to do the better thing for this country, you'll see that people will hear, people will be grieving in the heart that they still shouldn't wake up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Because of party name,
yeah.
if it happens, they will have good image. People will prefer them over us. So whatever we can do to make sure that this success doesn't happen, let's do it. And that is hate for country. That is hate for country, and we can't hate our own country. And then we'll be running away to other places. You know how difficult it is. You know how dangerous it is when young people from Africa are leaving the continent through what they call, I know however they call it. Sometimes we hear people calling this slow way or show way, however they call it.
Hmm.
This illegal migration. People are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. People are dying in the Atlantic Ocean. People, so we make the continent better for ourselves, and we are running away from it. So we are running away from our own shadow.
Hmm.
Liberians, we are running away from our own shadow. We want to go to Europe, we want to go to America, we want to go, and we want to do anything to go. People passing through the desert on safe boats, people are riding it just to leave the continent, just to leave the country. And if you check it up, we have made a country better for ourselves. And our leaders have helped us to make it better for us. I'm not going to back them to this morning. But however, because of the matter of time, we want to remind the Ministry of Commerce and Industry that Liberian people, ears and eyes are still open. They want to know what happened to that contaminated rice.
Hmm.
Government should be very responsible, and government institutions should be very responsible on their actions, especially towards the population of the country. We told you people that these spoiled commodities, when they get on the market, because our people are poor, they see cheap things, they go for it. At the end of the day, we experience different type of disease outbreaks in the
Yes,
country.
yes.
Maybe in bit and pieces in other places, you just say, oh, diarrhea in the other community, how you call it, dysentery in the other community, stomach running, cholera, and all of these things happen because of sometimes government institutions don't live by the responsibility to the Liberian people. So we are waiting on the Ministry of Commerce to call us, the media people, to go and see where they will spot our 50,000 bag of spoiled
Hmm.
rice.
Hmm.
We are not going to leave this thing. We will not leave it until it is done. Um, just for us to take a couple of calls, I don't know how far it's considered Bonavama. Um, Again, the bad road condition in the country. The president said when he was a candidate, he said, if you cannot work in the rainy season, then you can work in the drought season, because preparation from the drought season starts, or for the drought season starts from the rainy
The rainy
season.
season.
Okay, we see a lot of damaged roads across the capital. I don't even want to talk about outside of Monrovia. Okay, and visible that even the Minister of Public Works cars can pass there. You will see. I don't want to name places. Thanks to the Liberian investigator Leonard Dodo and the team for capturing some of these potholes and telling you that there are about 470 around Painesville and Monrovia. But I believe that they didn't even capture all. I believe there are more than that.
Mm.
So
Just aim over here.
we need we need to
Aim
be
over here.
intentional about what we do. This thing it's not about talking. The talking aspect of the politics is when election is ongoing, you talk. Then when the people believe you, they vote for you, then you do the action.
It comes down to implement.
Yes, to implement the action and not to be talking again. So we want to call on the Ministry of Public Works. Please, the road fund is sitting right over there. That road fund not for anybody's salary. That road fund, what they told us as they established that road fund was for road maintenance and rehabilitation.
Okay.
And even construction of new roads. Okay? The next time guy will tell you how the road fund is raised. A lot of people already know how that road fund is raised. Percentage on each gallon of petroleum product in the country goes to that fund to do road maintenance, road rehabilitation, road construction. You think we don't have money? The petroleum product we consume in this country, money is in the road fund. What are we doing with it? We're waiting for dry season. I mean, don't give me that excuse, man, Roland.
Yes, and my God, before that, going on to the form, our guys are reporting this morning from the capital. Where, you know, there's a 2 vehicle park.
Is it blocking the way?
No, it parked in the space of the speaker. So I don't know which one of them, whether it's Gone or Kofa, but where the speaker vehicle park at the Capitol building, where the speaker vehicle park, there is a 2 vehicle parking there. And someone just informed me that I have been there since I think for the past 2 days now. So it should be for the battle speaker, Jonathan Kofa. He just parked the 2 vehicle to the space. It's not small wahala. A parking penny again for inside the chamber. They can't also not for parking space.
Yeah, so this is not so that is what it is. So far as we can see this morning, while we are expecting Councilor Bono Farmer, we can open the lines to have some interactions with our callers this morning, our followers. Good morning. You can call 0770-202579 077728591 this morning on the show. You can start with the calls.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka, and good morning to Ansu.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This Aaron people man are joining from Coventry to Marka.
Let's say Aaron go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, Marka, this morning my concern is drawn to the issue of politics with me our country. Marka, because of poverty, high level of poverty, you see sometimes young people doing these things that you don't expect them to do. If John were in the country, everybody are worried about their business. Nobody will be dragging here and there. But because of the high poverty rate, you see young people are doing what they're not supposed to do. And you see the country going the way you're not supposed to go. So, I mean, we need to put our head down and do something for ourselves. And one point, the party that voting, but we make it a little ugly. Because somebody is doing the wrong thing. We are still there hearing them for the wrong thing they're doing.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling. Good morning.
No, that's not
good morning.
Please move away from your
monitor. Good morning. Hello. Good morning, caller. 077-285-961. Good morning. Go ahead, you're live. Walk away from your monitor, please. You cannot call at the same time you be by your phone or maybe by whatever means you're monitoring us on the program. So please walk away from your monitor. 077-285-961. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Amos from calling from Jacksonville.
All right, Amos.
Yeah, Marco, I was silent listener, but the point you guys are raising the studio there are very cardinals. The country has become so political. Now, whatsoever you do is politics, in school, politics, in church, in politics. Instead of us focusing ahead, the same that we can see the country moving forward. Every side, every sector has been politicized. Even the motorcycle sector is politicized. So, what can we do? So, it's better for us to see how we can put our little resources together so that we can move ahead. So you feel a very good point this morning. So I just called to commend you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning. Why? It's a force that you guys.
So, calls again 0770-202579 Please, let's sound this again. When you call, please either switch off the monitor you're using, which you can call the radio, or you lower the volume or move away from it. You know, it sounds so terrible when we have that feedback. Thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, bro, Marka.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Okay. The issue of this rest
If you are already started selling that sport you're talking about.
How you say so, my man?
I went to another one time. I met a Michael who said I decided buying a rest for $14 already.
Mm.
Yeah. But I'll call you, I'll call you next time to give you a phone and give you update on it.
Mm. Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
decided buying a rest already $14 on the port.
Mm. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, yeah, you know, when we say these things, people don't take action. That what will happen. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka. This is Pastor McKay. Thank you for taking my call. Listen, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Our country, I can't figure how come we have changed so much for the worse. People hit people. When you're doing business with them, they don't keep their word. When they give you time where they're going to be at your place to do your work, they don't show up, they don't call you. Everything has changed for the worse. I can't figure why. But this government that's present, I truly believe that they would do well by us, but they need to push harder also. They need to start looking at these important things, the human behavior, how the human mind works, so that they can be able to push us in a positive direction. I think we are very, very negative in this country. I'm telling you, a little things can change into huge confusion. A typical example of people not being united would be the House of Representatives. I mean, why these people are not able to go by the books? It's been there before they were born, long before they were born, and it's been working. How come they're not able to get together and make things work for the people of Liberia and not themselves? This is greed. This is hatred. This is unbelievable. Thank you for taking my call, Marka.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Pastor Lake, all the way there from Agiri County. You can take the caller.
Yes. Good morning. Caller, go ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, good morning, Marka and Ansu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Sheikh Batoria Red Light.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I think I was going to go to this Saga and also their business. Oh, well, I heard the members of the majority black sitting here. The Supreme Court will now put them to take one of the speaker gavel. But actually, it's not about putting this. The Supreme Court is not all the people from the Speaker Club. They are not saying that they should post them to sit under his authority. But let the right thing be done. That is what we all are saying.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with the speaker.
Okay.
So let's look at it this way, Marka. If you want to divorce your wife or your wife wants to divorce you, the court will not force you to love your wife. But what the court will say, let the right thing be done, do it the proper way to divorce.
Okay.
That's what we all are saying.
Okay.
Okay, my
Thank
brother.
you. Let's take this 72-year-old man. Good morning.
Good morning. You invited the road fund officials in your office, in your studio before. They came there and explained all of the things that they are doing. ERBC invited them also. We listened to a lot of good things they're doing. If you do not remember all of the things that they said they're doing, please call them again. The people are working. A lot of roads have been rehabilitated around the city because of the road fund. So we should not conclude that they're not doing anything. And those who we expect to go to that road fund to hear that place will not go there. The people who are there are working very hard and they will stay there. So if the main aim is to fight for people to go there, forget it. They're not going there. That particular group that is heading the road fund doing very, very well and will be there.
I really don't care who has any government institution. The matter of fact, we should see the fruit of what we sow, because if we will still have the kind of road conditions we have, you saying they are rehabilitating road, where
They told you. Just invite them again if you can't remember.
I was not here though. However, the thing is, what about the report from the Liberian investigator, for example, the major roads in the country, all of these things happening. So we are just calling on them to do what they are called to do.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
you
about.
say you don't see anything. Maybe you and I in studio the day they were there. Yeah, O'Neill was the one in studio. What you need to do?
Only
Please
they will continue
advise.
to see something and to hear something are two different things. Whether I heard what they said or not, but I'm on the Dupo road here, I'm on the AB Top road, I'm on the Zile Community Road. I'm on the
Okay.
SD Cooper Road and other.
But
I'm talking a physical thing that I'm seeing.
let me inform you also, 2 Fridays ago, I invited them to my show on the ABC Flashpoint.
David,
And
thank
they
you.
explained,
Mhm.
yeah, they told that there's, in fact, people call on the show. There were a lot of calls, and people testify that work is going on.
Yeah, I want testify too. I want testify too.
If you want to testify, call them. But your plan will not work.
I don't,
The people you
I don't have a plan. David, stop that. I don't have a plan. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, you call and you are holding the line. Let me take this call. Please, please. Oh, you have to either cut off the radio, please. We're having very terrible feedback from you, please. I don't want to let you go. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka, and good morning, O'Neill.
Good morning.
Okay, this is Honorable Henson Kiazulu.
Okay.
I called because I listened to your show, and David Koti call, you try to insinuate that you are on a PR for me because I'm the only person they are projected for the roof.
Which is absolutely out of order.
Yeah, let me say this. If you go and collect money to do a PR for the roof, it's not bad. And I want to tell him that indeed, Rufo is not the only place that I'm supposed to work. Tomorrow, the president sent me to another place. I will go and perform very well. David Koti have not worked anywhere. He do the little thing and start to malign other people. He myself in that show. I can tell him, more beside Rufo is not for construction of road as an institution. Public Works is responsible. Rufo is.
Oh, you went up the line. I don't know why, but if you call back, you complete your statement anyway. But wow, I'm not seeing council here yet. Okay. Good morning.
Marka, good morning.
Morning.
It's a pleasant good morning to Ansu. As usual, I joined a discussion from District 4, and this is the voice of Akwe Ebu Senior. You know, Marka, I sat and I listened to you attentively. You know, whenever you sit behind the microphones, I don't know, sometimes what are some of our young people can really listen to some of the ideas you try to provide or the education you try to provide. Marka, you said something. I don't know. The hate in this country, for me, if you ask my kind of opinion, it is being designed. Even the poverty that Liberians are going through today, it is designed. It is not just ordinary because these people who we elect into offices to do the work for us, to make this place as a land where Liberians will have freedom, liberty, and enjoy the fruits. But Marka, the people that we will elect and give them power, they design the poverty in this country where they're not providing the means where people will go to school and get educated. They're not providing the means where people will be able to go to work and get their daily bread. The only thing our politicians will do, we should get broke and go to them and beg them. We should see them as demagogues. I mean, it is wrong. So if young people will not be far-sighted enough and understand that these politicians we are killing ourselves for, they are the ones who have designed poverty in this country for us, then it means we're heading nowhere as a young people. So at least, Marka, I want to say a very big thank you to you for the level of education you provided, and I hope and pray Liberians, especially the young people, will rise up to the occasion and do the needful. Thank you for having me, Marka.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling. But again, I'm tempted to let David know that sometimes some of these broadcasts we do, we sometimes we play them at night. Sometimes you come and you are inspired to speak to some issues and all of that. I can assure you that my statement concerning the roads condition in the country, what the road fund was set up to do. I mean, it had absolutely nothing to do with Henson Kazuru. It had absolutely nothing to do with who is heading the road fund currently. We were just speaking in line of the function of government institutions. That's exactly what I was speaking on. So I'm very clear with that, with very clear conscience this morning.
Wonderful. So let's pick this person. This should be Milton. Is this your goal?
Yeah, this is the next representative for District 6, Monserrado County.
Okay.
2029, so it's an opportunity to always have you on the line. While people are shying away from politics, the first thing I want to say is that
whenever the right thing is not done, there where you see plenty of people will be facing until you can find the right people. Politics in our country, sometimes I feel disappointed when I hear people say that not everybody can do politics, but those people will not say not everybody can be teacher. Those people will not say not everybody can say Peter Bottle really. These people will not say not everybody can be pastor. These people will not say not everybody can be a businessman. Everybody has the right to be who they want to be. So some of us have decided to be politicians. Nobody was born to be politician. Nobody was born to be an engineer. But Martin Luther said, if your leader keep lying to you, step forward and lead. And this is why some of us have decided to step forward and lead. Because those we are selected to serve as leaders in this country are very corrupt, no interest for the common people, no school fee, people dying at hospital, people saying not in chair, they're treating them. And we voted for Joseph Boakai, thinking that he will reform this country and change the government and change the poor people's life. But I can tell you, my brother, it's worse than ever before. So we will pray by 2029 and some of us will be in power. We'll try to change the people's life so that those that live around JFK and some of them cancer will just walk there and take that cancer treatment and go home. That a child will go to school, even if they don't have money to pay school fee, they can graduate from school loan, on student loan, and then pay that school fee later. Thank you.
Yeah, Meto.
Yeah,
Yeah, Meto.
I see next representative you're talking district six candidates, the thing about district six candidates, all of them they can talk during the election, they will add the campaigning on the day of election, all of them can still come and fall down on the end. Let me pick this caller. Please lower the volume of your monitor, please. Yeah, you either lower it or we let you go. Good morning.
Yeah, Maga boy.
Good morning.
Oh, thank you, Maga. I'm leave. I call for my bell. Oh, I see your text, but is there a customer is not appearing? But the issue of due process in the case of this FICO basis. My question is that who's supposed to gain the due process? It is the accusers or an independent body, or because if you can be accused of getting due process. Now, I even want a customer red being zero. I mean, asking that question because the question talk about if anybody accused, you should be given due process. All I want that the speaker should be given due process. But my concern was that who's going to gain the due process? I really want to know. I don't even I can call and help. I know.
Okay. Who's supposed to get a due process? We already have a counselor here, so maybe he is talking about we're asking what people mean when they say due process, maybe in legal terms. What does due process mean? So as soon as we have Councillor Bonavama on the camera, we will join him shortly. He already running late coming, but let me just do justice to this caller. Good morning. 30 seconds, please.
Good morning, Ambassador Marka, and let me say good morning to Ansu and those following the broadcast. My name is Aloysius P. Flomo Jr., and I joined on my TV county this morning. Marka, this morning I called to appreciate one of our former presidential candidates, Mr. Appleton. He said something that touched me. Liberia, we are taking our concentration from private sector investment, more especially those middle income earners. And you said it right. Liberians are very fortunate to see themselves in that category as middle income earners to be able to give out to less privileged Liberians. And that call should meet the interest of all of them. Yesterday, I witnessed something on the social media where he dedicated, a modern market structure to the planting center in the Omega era. That is laudable for him, and we look forward to others to follow similar path. I think it will help to alleviate the poverty in our country.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it will help to alleviate the poverty in our country. Let's go to Councillor Bonavama this morning. Can you remove the headphone from the microphone? Yes, so you can have the sound. Yes, Chief, good morning. It's great to have you again. The light. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Very good. Mm. Okay.
Association. We know it's a convoluted process to reform our bar, but we think we will continue to make strides to reach there because this is a democratic setting and rule of law remains vibrant and critical to our own growth. And
Okay.
so we are quite happy to be here this morning.
Okay, great. So, if you're just joining us, he is Councillor Bono Vama. He is the current National Secretary General of the Liberian National Bar Association. He is, are you candidate now? Candidate for president?
I'm a serious one, serious
Okay.
candidate. In fact, leading the process. We've been
Candidate for president.
vetted and qualified by the Election Commission of
Are
the
you also
Liberian
vice
National Bar
president for
Association.
WABA, the West African?
I am the current vice president of the West African Bar Association, the first Liberian lawyer to be occupying such position.
Exactly. Now,
We brought pride to the jurisdiction.
tell the Liberian people and members of the Liberian National Bar Association why you want to become president of the
Well,
bar.
thank you so much. Over the years, we have served as the National Secretary General of the Liberian National Bar Association, making great strides to improve rule of law in our country. The bar honored our leadership. When I say honor our leadership, I mean Councillor Sylvester Dombarene leadership.
Mhm.
Has made some great strides working with the legislature. If you may, I have a few achievements here that I would like to enumerate.
Okay.
And so we've done some stuff, and so that is what is preparing us to opt for the highest position in the Liberian National Bar Association. And I believe that bar associations around the world have become professional, have become critical to maintaining democratic system, and those who lead those bars must be competent people. You must look for your best in your jurisdiction and make them bar president, because if you may, it's even academic. People expect you to know a lot by president. They expect you to understand the nuances of rule of law. They expect you to have the pedigree to address rule of law issue. And I think I may not be the czar of rule of law in Liberia, but as an expert of rule of law, as somebody who holds a master's degree in law and understands the nuances of the legal system of our country, the dual legal regime in our country, somebody who has made strides in shifting the paradigm at the level of the Liberian National Bar Association to diversify funding support to the bar, somebody who has become professional in his doing writing articles and publishing those articles for members of the bar to consume. So I think we are best suited in these elections. We are not here to disparage or denigrate our colleagues who are from the other side of the table, but we think we are best suited because we understand we are ready to lead. The fact that we are sitting in the second position in West Africa, the fact that we have served as Secretary General, changing the dynamics at the level of the Secretariat, working under Sylvester Rennie, collaborating with the national legislature to achieve a lot, because we provide expertise in the country.
Okay.
We are the leading rule of law institution, the most competent authority to address legal issues. And that's what we've done over the years. Issuing periodic public policy statements. We've been able to collaborate with the legislature to achieve some milestones, if you may, such as the appointment of additional relieving judges for the circuit courts in our jurisdiction.
Okay.
We collaborated with the legislature to pass law on the Controlled Drug and Substance Act, making it bailable offense now in our jurisdiction. We also work with the national legislature, and the legislature was able to pass the Domestic Violence Act against men. We've had Domestic Violence Act against women. Now we have an act against men in our jurisdiction. The plea bargaining, for instance, new standard on preliminary examination in cases above the trial jurisdiction of magistrates and justices of the peace. Topical intervention, preliminary examination of the Criminal Procedure Law 32 and Liberian Code of Law revised, condition for time and authority to arrest. Significant milestone. Sentencing and death penalty. Issue one to the legislature. We collaborated with that branch of government. Anti-money laundering, terrorist financing and preventive measures, and an act to establish the Financial Intelligence Agency. On top of that, or in addition to that, there were significant amendments to the Liberian Bar Constitution. Topical among the amendments that were superintended and presided over by our leadership was the fact that in the past we have our local county bar presidents.
Mhm.
We have our local county bars. So they were not, they did not have voice in terms of decision making at the level of the bar association. As a result of the critical amendment recently, we now have presidents who are elected by the local bars to constitute the National Executive Council of the
Okay.
Liberal National Bars. That was a critical milestone
Prior to that, who were members of the
where members
council?
of a bar, we had up to 10 members of a bar announcing that Vera Base, and they were elected to serve in that position with the, I mean, in addition to that, with the full executive officer. But now
Okay.
we are happy to announce that the paradigm has shifted and power has now been diverted. There's pure devolution of power now with respect to local county bar president now constituting the National Executive Council. For instance, we have senior colleagues in the profession who have made some strides.
Mhm.
They have made some achievements, and so we henceforth will now begin to confer upon them awards
Okay.
for their condition of service, for their time of service, for the quality services provided to rule of law in our country. During the period, we also participated in a vetting committee. That vetting committee was a presidential vetting committee constituted by President Joe Boakai to vet Liberian lawyers, submit a pool to him, and out of that process, ultimately, we now have an executive director of the War and Economic Crimes Court. The bar played very critical role and made very strategic intervention to address that subject matter. We also participated in the ad hoc committee during the WIAS regime.
Okay.
That today, now we have a restructured LACC. The bar also play critical role in that. We attracted donor support, and that was, if it is not the biggest in our achievement that we are enumerating, I don't know how you refer to that, because over the years, the bar has relied on dues
Mhm.
imposed on our members by the law and our constitution and the judiciary law. Uh, but for the first time, given our own project development perspective that we brought to the table, to the
Mhm.
Liberian National Bar Association, we were able to diversify area of funding support. And of course, I'm a project development specialist working under the supervision of the National Executive Council and President Sylvester Double Rennie. We were able to do project proposals, and those project proposals attracted donor funding. Uh, and as a result of the first project, which was a maiden and inaugural intervention in the electoral process, where we educated and sensitized different electoral stakeholders, the bar was able to also get a second grant in the tune of $120,000 to do what we call pretrial detention in Montserrat.
Okay.
Those are some achievements that we made over the years through international collaboration. For instance, your humble servant, because our constitution
Mm.
mandates the leadership to leverage international cooperation, and so as a result of that, your humble servant in June of this year was graciously, gloriously elected as vice president of the West African Bar Association, making him the first Liberian lawyer to sit on a sub-regional organization. Yesterday, I heard one of my colleagues on the radio, and that's a de facto position. Well, you better go and read properly, And so that's a very serious position. We are working with the ECOWAS Commission to discuss rule of law in the sub-region. We are elevating conversation around rule of law in member state of ECOWAS. We are working with the Senegalese president to discuss the confederation that had been established by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. That is critical. I'm on my way right after the LMBA convention to participate in the executive committee meeting in Dakar. Liberia now sits up there. We are concerned about rulings, the enforcement of rulings and decisions of the ECOWAS Community Court of Justice, and so a lot more is being done with Liberia now sitting around the table. And so
Yes.
we
So.
have maintained,
Mhm.
Marka, we have maintained, we have remained the voice of the voiceless to enhance rule of law in Liberia. And we have also continued, Marka, to support the 5 legal aid clinics that we have in this jurisdiction. Like, usually ELPA came and helped out to set up some legal clinics. They were supporting those clinics to improve access to justice. But since our project ran out, the bar has taken on to support operationally those clinics. And so it's one thing that we also achieved all the year, because we maintained those clinics, made them operational from the same dues that members of the bar pay. We want to announce here, as a major achievement, we have continued The headquarters project that we embarked on a couple of years ago, that headquarters project is going on, and we even invite members of the public, even you from True FM, to visit the project headquarters on Tower Hill in Margibi to see the level of work that we've put into that. And we have value for money through an efficient, proficient, and transparent procurement process. Why do I want to be president of the Liberia National Bar, having enumerated those topical achievements over the years?
And let me modify the question. After enumerating all of the what you call achievements over the period of time, being Secretary General along with the President, Councillor running for 3 years, what is left that you still want to do?
Well, Marka, if you look at the constitution of the bar, the National Secretary General is a third in command. You have to maneuver your way under the presidency, the vice presidency, the National Executive Council. And I know working together with Councillor Rennie and all those folks that got elected in 2021, we've made some great strides. But I think to be able to achieve what I envision in the rural law sector, I would think my election as national president of the Liberia National Bar Association would make me as the embodiment of a leadership and all policy prescriptions in the bar. Will make the National Executive Council to listen to me whenever I proffer some substantive intervention to the level of the National Executive Council. Will place me in a position to lobby with senior colleagues, with the Supreme Court and other members of the bar. So I think it is significant. It is critical. Like I said to you, somebody who understands the nuances of rule of law, somebody who has navigated in the public sector, made meaningful contributions to the public sector, somebody who has worked with different political actors, professional actors, to bring rule of law where it is today. If you may, when I worked for the Governance Commission, we produced a first issue paper that set the basis for reform of our judiciary. I worked under the supervision of the late Professor Abel Sawyer and some great legal luminary, Philip Banks and others, that when we were able to produce the first issue paper that set the basis for reform of the judiciary. I worked with the Governance Commission. We contributed immensely to public sector reform, and the records are there. We have written policy briefs, public use policy briefs for the consumption of the public. I have written legal articles and published for the consumption of the public. And so I think I understand the nuances of rule of law. What will happen eventually if I'm elected? All that you guys will see in this country will be a vibrant and professional leadership of a Liberian National Bar that has a critical role to play in all of what's happening in our country. In absence of what we're talking here, rule of law, I don't even know how we salvage our democratic values. So it is important that the apex or the premier institution that we have, that speaks to rule of law issue must have competent leadership that will proffer those interventions, those iconic interventions to address our rule of law issue. We want to work with the Supreme Court. We want to work with the branches of government. We want to work with our senior colleagues. We want to work with our junior colleagues. We want to work with law school students. We want to work with everybody. And that's what I bring. Those are the attributes I have that are attracting the votes to our candidacy. And I can assure you, this week in Ganta, the results that will be announced by the Election Commission will be overwhelmingly in our favor because we have worked. We have reached out to everyone, and the lawyers, majority members of the bar, understand that we have the pedigree to lead the bar, and that's why we are going to be gloriously and graciously elected on November 30 in Ganta. So, like I was saying, why do I want to be president of the bar, Marka? Firstly, we want to profit a national welfare and support for legal professionals, a policy that we cater for members of the bar. We don't have one. And so that will be implemented or enforced without any cost implication for members of the bar, for instance. Members of the bar are paying bar dues per annum. Attorneys are paying $180 per annum. Councillors are paying $360 per annum. What we want to do, working with the National Executive Council, because people who understand how the bar runs will take their time, be very circumspect to explain to the public how the bar runs. You don't have absolute authority as president of the bar. You must work with the National Executive Council, proffer your recommendations, and then those things will be dissected at the level of the Executive Council before they can be implemented. So, working with the National Executive Council, we will take a special fund for what the members of the bar pay per annum, set it aside as a provident fund to address the issue of welfare. Our lawyers are getting sick. Some of them are dying, unfortunately. We think there has to be a mechanism to address that. And of course, that policy will be a policy that will look at the interests of all. You must be in good standing to benefit from such policy. So, mind you, I had the prototype already of that policy that I'm taking to Uganda. And so, by the time we are elected, day one, we start working immediately. And so, we want to have uniform pay grade for members of the bar who are opportune to work in the public sector.
Okay.
There seems to be disparity. If you check certain ministries in government, you have lawyers working in a legal counsel making maybe up to $2,000, $2,500. If you check other sectors, other ministries and agencies, you have lawyers making $300, $400. Quite unacceptable. As president of the bar, we intend to work with the CSA. We intend to work with the Minister of Justice to streamline this issue, dissect it more critically, and bring about a uniform pay grade for members of the bar that are working with different institutions in government. I think that is critical. That is quite critical. What do we want to do again, my brother? We want to elevate our continuing legal education program. It's the most topical flagship project that we have in the bar. Whenever we have events, we invite legal luminaries to present papers on different subject matters. We think the interests of law students have not been critically, elevated. And the way we've been doing our program must be improved upon. Councillor Benedict Sano has done a great deal for the last 3 years. And we think that aspect of the bar must be elevated so that capacity building for members of a bar can be a critical milestone that will change the practice of law. Our profession is evolutionary. Our profession is a profession that is so progressive and dynamic. Things are changing. It's a common law jurisdiction. So we hope to elevate that, and by doing that, we can even have a conversation with the Supreme Court on the Judiciary Institute at the Supreme Court, that we can have training programs that members of the bar can benefit from, and we confer a certificate upon them once they have graduated from those training courses. We want to strengthen legal education. What that means would be to advocate for the autonomy of the Louis Adegran School of Law. It's critical. That's a very old law school. And some of us get ashamed because we went to that law school. We got some very serious training for that law school. But if you look at it and you compare that law school to other law schools around the world, there's a lot that we have to put into that law school. I'm quite concerned about that.
When you say creating an alternative, are you talking about
autonomy? Autonomy. The law school is part of the University of Liberia that was created by a charter. So that law school had not benefited from funding support, operational support, for instance. We think if we have conversation with the legislature to discuss the amendment of the charter, for instance, we can have an autonomy bestowed upon our law school, and that law school will attract operational support, and with those who run the law school can now be held accountable. They back on our leadership. We work with that law school, we work with the University of Liberia to ensure that there's efficiency and productivity at the level of the Louis Adegran School of Law. That remains critical. Marka, when the late Professor David A.B. Jala was Dean of the Louis Adegran School of Law, we had some exchange program between our law school and other law schools around the world, such as Indiana University and other law schools around the world. That program was intended to allow high-performing graduates from our law school to benefit from scholarship program at Indiana and other law school. That conversation has since evaporated. My leadership as president of the bar, we want to restart conversation around that subject matter.
If elected.
Yeah. I said that's what I'm saying. If elected, I'm going to win anyway. I'm going to win, And so we can have conversation with other law schools to create the opportunity for young graduates from the Louis Adegran School of Law, and of course other law schools, because now we have two, to seek opportunities to do that graduate studies. And so that is critical. We want to have international exchange programs that our law school can also benefit from. Marka, our constitution provides that we have a dual legal system. We have the formal legal system, we have the customary legal system too. But if you look at the two, there's no parity between the two. The 1986 Constitution mandates the legislature to promulgate rules that will elevate customary justice to be on par with the formal justice system. That has not happened. Article 5 of our Constitution, Article 65 of the 1986 Constitution expressly mandate the legislature to do that. We think a competent, vibrant, and professional leadership at the level of the Liberia National Bar Association will make sure that this issue will be critically dissected, and of course, customary justice that accounts for 80 to 90% of dispute resolution mechanism we now have to face in our legal system. Our chiefs and elders will have a role to play in our customary system. There will be election for chiefs. We've now had election for our chiefs who play major role in the customary system. And I want to say here openly that our democracy is incomplete because Article 56B of our Constitution provides that chiefs are supposed to be elected for 6 years. Since 1985, we have done high election for chiefs in this country, and the chiefs have significant role to play in our rule of law system. They are the main carriers, they are the main doers, they are the main actors in customary justice. But there's a question right now of whether or not they are legitimate, because no minister, no president is supposed to appoint chiefs in our country. They're supposed to be elected. So if we have the opportunity to get elected in Ganta on Saturday, it would be one of the issues that we'll look at. We want to institute what we call meritorious awards, Marka, to recognize high-performing judges and other key actors in the legal sector, facilitate international scholarship for young lawyers to gain global exposure and advance legal education. Look, most of our judges work under strenuous circumstances, difficult circumstances. And what we want to do is to motivate them to set the basis for efficiency and productivity in the judiciary. High-performing judges will be conferred upon meritorious awards. We'll sculpt them. We'll work with the Supreme Court and sculpt those judges, working with the trial judges, making sure that they are well sculpted, well evaluated, and then we can confer meritorious award upon them for their quality services to enhancing rule of law.
So you said a lot of these good things. You know that the time factor is also matters. But again, these are all good programs that you are talking about. But the members of the public will be concerned. Sometimes there are lawyers. People make claims about maybe issues of corruption, judges, and all of that. What will you do about that too?
We have a pillar on that specifically. That's a pillar on LMBA governance and modernization. Quite critical. Mind you, there is no way, Marka, and I want to throw an open challenge to those naysayers and pundits who sit there without looking at the bar in a more critical fashion and just make what I call fabricated content to please their intellectual, quest. There is no way any corruption can take place in the bar. We have one of the most transparent systems. The system and control we have at the bar was put in place by ELPAN and UC, and that's what we've inherited. Executive officers are far away from money. We sign checks, yes, but we check before we sign them. The rigorous process. We have an executive director and his secretariat. They do vouchers. They do they talk money with vendors out there, and the president and treasurer will normally approve the voucher system. It's so transparent. It is so transparent. And what we need to do, the bar is integrous. The bar has reputation. The bar must not be denigrated by its members for any reason. If you have inquiries, it's good to revert to the secretariat and ask your questions, because the president makes his annual report. The law provides that the president makes his annual report, which will include audited financial statement per annum to the convention. So if you have issues, you can come to the audit committee. That's the law we have. There's no way that we can veer up the substance of that law. But that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, Marka. If we are opportune to get elected, we would like to shift the paradigm a little to improve transparency. The law provides that the president of the bar will report to the convention on an annual basis. I would think the lawyers are paying their money. I would think that is much more conservative. We need to be liberal and open. And so by that, what I mean, we would like to make quarterly financial reports to members of the bar. I think it's important. Another thing that we would do, we've been operating this manual accounting system at the bar. Our capacity has been assessed by the UN system. There are recommendations that we transition from the manual system to automated system, the QuickBook and other software. We're going to do that. We will encourage members of the bar to begin paying their bar dues and levies to the banks. It's also critical.
The critical issue they have
Yeah, it's a critical
recently,
issue.
they said,
Well, somebody will say, "Why have you done as Secretary General?" We've been talking about this over the years, and I think if I'm elected as president on November 30 in Ghana, Saturday this week, it is going to be one of the critical issues that we're going to look at, and we'll place premium on that so that there can be openness.
First 100 days.
Yes, maybe the first 30 days, I think. There can be openness when it comes to transparency
So in the
bar.
first 30 days, if you elected a president, you ensure now
that is critical.
That members of the bar will no longer take their dues to the bar or
no way.
to the bank.
The executive council, it will be number one on my agenda. We discuss that and pass on that, and that will be a policy statement and policy issue. And so members will not pay that bar dues. But of course, we'll have mechanism to check on that so that nobody can, do anything wrong. But I think that is critical because one of the issues I've been, and that would be to mitigate the risk factor. Because if you play with cash at the office, people would think that, there's a possibility for something to take place here and there. So if you pay your money to the bank, of course, there will be high level of transparency in the financial dealings of the bar. So that is critical. We are interested in ensuring infrastructure development of a bar, expedite the completion of the LMBA headquarters project. I've said that we would like to drive the development of LMBA physical infrastructure to enhance member services and improve the working environment. We like to support legal institutions. It's quite critical. The issues are multiple, Marka. The time might not be enough to really discuss all the issues one by one.
We are almost out of the time.
But we are ready for the leadership day one. Because we understand these issues, we've done it over the years, and we can do it at the level of the LMBA, making the LMBA a more vibrant and professional organization.
Yeah, so by 9:20, we're supposed to have our next guest here, so we can take at least 3 or 4 calls. Maybe there are some issues, and maybe you take the last 2 minutes to close. So if you have any question for Councillor Bono Varma, candidate for President, Liberian National Bar Association, you can call 0770-202579, 777-285961. That's 0777-285961, or better still 0770-202579. Now, please stay away from your monitor when you call. Let's take this call. Good morning. Good morning. Your background is very terrible. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead. Okay.
To issue whatsoever is in trade for. Is that a decision?
Well, that's a decision. Well, we're not talking about the back election or convention. Good morning.
Yeah, Marka. So, again, I jumped for this reform. And then the voice of Abby Louis. Listen to the council, and I think it's both legislatively. I listen to the agenda, it's also healthy. But he said something that he's going to live with the legislature to help to improve the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law at the University of Liberia. For me, I think that would be serious deception because most of these lawmakers that we have at the house, most of them, 95% of them, they are still at the University of Liberia. So the university is strangulated, and these guys are doing nothing, absolutely nothing about it. So to convene this public this morning that the council will try to rub shoulders with the lawmakers to improve the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law, I think it's deception. And I want to call the council to really rub shoulders with the people from the outside world rather than depending on these people we call lawmakers.
Okay, thank you. Let me take this one, please. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Attorney Jeremiah Samuel Double Request, and I'm the head of the Secretary of the Campaign Steering Committee of Council Obama campaign team.
Go ahead.
I like to thank the presumptive president
for
his deliberation, and I just like to assure colleagues of the NBA that Councilor Obama means what he says. Given his past record, he's a Thomas Peter, he doesn't get two things other than other people. He's somebody who means what he says. And I want to assure him that upon letting him come Saturday, he will deliver as promised.
Okay, he will deliver a promise. Well, some members of the bar are calling. Let me pick this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka, and good morning to the presumptive president of the Liberian National Bar Association.
Is this Councillor Kanyo Barbala?
indeed, this is Councilor Kanye of Backpara.
Okay.
I'm called to just add my own bit to what the president, according to the president already has been saying in studio.
Council, you haven't voted and you are calling the president already?
Because there is a whole whirlwind and majority of lawyers who are convinced in the leadership of Councilor Obama. This is not because he's currently Secretary General, but his track record and history in student leadership in public life is something that is worthy of emulation. More besides, this is somebody who is an expert on rule of law. In the short time Councilor Obama has been Secretary General of the Bar, we've seen how international organizations have given us greater respect. They've given us resources to implement projects affecting rule of law, pro bono services for poor people who can afford lawyers. These are the type of things the bar should be doing.
Okay.
We are convinced that if he is elected, and when he is elected, as we know he is already president, that this is something that is going to become the norm.
Okay.
So we just like to call on all of our colleagues who be heading to Danta in a day or two, so that we go and make history and move our bar forward. But I have just one little question for Councilor Obama before I go. Councilor, we know you've already won, and it's just a matter of performing, the democratic function. So after.
Oh wow! Why the call would drop at this point? Why would the call drop at this point? That was why. Anyway, I know that question was after you have won. Why would something like that? But I'm hoping if you can. But let me take this caller. Good morning. Good morning, Ava.
Calling for contribute to the show, specifically listen to the Iridar Councilor laying out his plans for the Liberia National Bar Association, makes me very excited, considering his track record and the hard work he's done over the last 3 years. We only think that we can get better as an organization of lawyers, and we are also very committed to supporting him through this process, and he has shown high level of commitment to working for the bar. But I have one question for the lawyer in the studio, the councilor, Councilor Obama. There's a perception amongst people in the bar that much of your support comes from the young generation of lawyers, including myself, and that you have a very fragile relationship with the senior lawyers. Do you care to outline to the listeners, especially because of the LMBA, the level of relationship that you enjoy with the older lawyers, or if you like, the senior counsels? Thank you very much.
Yeah, Alpha, Penny, thank you for joining us. The final call we can take. Council, I'm sorry, we'll just use.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me commend my colleagues who were able to come to with these brilliant questions and the commendation that we received from them. Let us work together.
But Council, how can all the bar members go?
Well, I don't know. You know, when you talk about the cream de la cream of any society, you talk about lawyers. And so they are very meticulous. They are evaluative. They've been following our track records over the years. And so it's not strange that we're getting all the accolades and commendation from our colleagues out there. Let me take St. Penny, for instance. Senior lawyers. Hey, most of what I do in this country, most of what I do in this country, you would attribute them to collaboration with senior colleagues. Look, I cut across. I'm close to senior members of the bar, and that will be evident today at the lunch with extended invitation. I'm not going to call their names on the radio, but I am very sure and convicted that I will have a very serious support from senior colleagues in the bar. There should be no reason why they wouldn't support me, because they themselves love proficiency and efficiency and productivity, and I bring that to the table. I am one person who has made his view clear on topical legal issues on the radio, in newspaper articles, everything. I'm one person who has held the discourse in this country, and that's what our profession is about. If you say you're a professional lawyer, you must be able to contribute to the profession. We've been able to contribute in manifold ways as well. So that perception that our support base cut across.
Okay.
We have support from senior college, we have support from junior college, even the LAWSA people. The students of the Louis Arthur Grand School of Law support our
Okay.
candidacy because they know what we bring to the table. We want to change the perspective, the dynamics. We want to shift the paradigm in the practice of law, working with the Supreme Court, working with the executive
Council,
branch of
thank you.
government, working. Yes.
Thank you,
Eh,
Council.
Yeah, thank you so much. So today we have the launch of the campaign. It's going to be quite massive. Marka, you and your team, we want to invite you there. We're going to parade from the old budget bureau, parade to the principal city of Monrovia, and end up at the Unification Park. We have t-shirts, we have food, we have drinks. We're inviting all of our friends to come to participate in that massive launch. When we get to Ganta in 2 days, we'll have a pre-victory parade in Ganta. It's
Okay.
set, it's ready. It's something that we're going to get massively. We appreciate the participation of our colleagues in this process, but we know that we are going to be the ultimate winner in this process because
Okay.
we have what it takes
I'm
to
still
lead a
I'm
professional
still waiting
and
for my
vibrant
I'm still
bar
waiting for my
leadership. Thank you so much.
I'm still waiting for my plane ticket to Ganta.
Your printing will be made available. Don't worry about
Thank you, Council.
that. Yeah.
Yes, let's take this break and be back shortly.
Hey man, I wish I could enjoy for the Christmas season. You're here too hot. What do you bring to the baby? You can't get tired. Every day, bang, bang, bang. How much your account have become rerouted? I just want you. I want to go shop for my children for the season. When you need to go to the bank, you can pay right from your phone. You yeah. Well, I thought I told you about the so you can use it. Go on the app and go to pay merchant. You can scan and pay for goods. You can also buy extra credit. You can pay on top bill. You can pay scratch. It's also available at restaurants, boutiques, hotels, and even official shops all over like
Yeah, so I just link up and say good morning. I guess you are getting us clearly.
Yeah, I'm getting you, but I like if it can be louder.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome to Truth FM. This is our show, the Truth Breakfast Show. It's great to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Okay. So we understand a lot of persons, but to be coming, so we will just allow you to give yourself introduction for us.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Pastor Soji Ajayi Albert. I am the national coordinator of the great crusade that we're all waiting for. That's the Global Crusade with Kumuyi, GCK. I'm the one coordinating the events in Liberia. Liberia is hosting this crusade beginning from 28th of November. That's next Thursday now, this Thursday, to 3rd of December, by the grace of God. And that same crusade events will be transmitted live all over the world. Wherever you are on this planet, you can hook up with Liberia.
Okay. Yes, so tell us a bit the history about this crusade that's gone global. Give us some background about it.
Thank you very much. Pastor Dr. Williams Folorunso Kumuyi is a very popular preacher of the Word of God. He began preaching has been preaching now for about 50 years more, 52 years now, and yet he's still going strong. This man of God started this global crusade about 2 years ago. This is the third year now, taking the gospel to the whole world at the same time. It's a kind of global effort to get souls into the kingdom. And so he will start in a particular place, a particular nation, and then from that nation, he would transmit the events of the crusade all over the world. He makes use of the satellite telecast transmission, and the Lord has been really, really helping him in that area. Many souls have been born again. In fact, over 500,000 decisions have been made since GCK started, and the many signs and wonders have been done. A lot of people have been converted and blessed and delivered. And one thing about him is this: he doesn't collect offerings at all the crusades. Everything is absolutely free. And GCK Liberia has a very unique theme, unique topic, which is a great escape through faith in Christ. That everyone can escape whatever situation they are in now. They can escape from it if they have faith in Christ. And it's coming to show them how to escape, to show them how to do it, and to show them what to do, and to bring them to that experience of freedom from whatever inhibition that you are suffering from. It's a great phenomenon that's happening in our own time, and we should praise God for it.
I know a lot of countries will be pushing to host, and someone will say, why Nigeria?
Yes, thank you very much. It's very important to know that the GCK, that's a global crusade with Kumuyi, has been staged or held at various states in Nigeria, and then in Zambia, in Togo, in Cameroon, in India, in Philippines, even in Dubai. And now it's Liberian time. Actually, it's supposed to have been here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, planning, but then circumstances and logistics prevented us from doing it. And so I think it has some divine component to it. God Almighty has decided that Liberia should host GCK this month, and that from here, God's word should be blasted out all over the world. The signs and wonders and the power of resurrection of Jesus Christ should stream out of Maroon there and spread all over the globe. I think it has to do with divinity. God wants to make use of Maroon there as the launching pad for his interventions across the globe.
That's good. You want to name some partner churches you are working with hosting this global crusade like you are this year?
Yes, this GCK is not a single denomination exercise or enterprise. all the churches, all Pentecostal churches, charismatic churches, mainline churches, and Orthodox churches are all expected to cooperate with all the preparations and execution of the crusades, of the events of the crusade. Presently now, all churches have heard about it. The Liberian Council of Churches, or they are part of it, and then the full Gospel Minister Association is part of it, and all of the churches will be having meetings now for about 2 years now. They heard about it. Many bishops have been attending our meetings, and just yesterday we had our grandfathers, our fathers of faith get together meeting at the Royal Crown Hotel just yesterday. That's the third of its kind. We'll be having meetings now with other pastors and other church workers for the past 2 years. We have had about 14, and today we're going to have the 15th version of it. So it's a kind of interdenominational effort. It's not for one single church.
Before we talk about maybe some major side events, here to share with us some of the guests, maybe preachers that are coming to this crusade this year.
Yes, sir. We have so many preachers that we expect to come. Many of them, all the pastors and all the bishops and all the reverend fathers are expected to attend this meeting. The meeting is not just one meeting. Maybe we'll come to that later on.
Yeah.
But then our Pastor Kumui, Dr. Kumui, is the only preacher, is the main speaker. Though we have those who may handle some seminars, symposium in the youth section, the youth development section. But then the crusade messages, the ministers' conference, as well as all other main messages are handled by this man of God, who is Pastor Dr. W.F. Kumi.
Okay. Yeah, so just joining us, listen to Pastor Sudi Albert talking about the global crusade with Kumuli happening in Liberia. So yes, let's talk about besides the event where Dr. Kumuli will deliver his message to the people of Nigeria and the world. What other segments we expect to see?
Thank you very much. The crusade is multifaceted in the sense that it's not just a single event. Number one, there's a major crusade going on starting on Thursday. Every evening at 4 o'clock, it will start and end about 9 in the night with a message, prayer sessions, signs, and wonders. Then that's for 6 days, every day from Thursday. Now, there is the ministers' conference, ministers' professional conference, those who are ministers, those who are bishops, reverend fathers, and church workers, and those who are professionals like doctors and engineers and all kinds of works and believers will be having their own minister conference at the same SKD Stadium on Friday in the morning, 7 o'clock, then on Monday in the morning, and on Tuesday in the morning, same time. That's for ministers and church workers and professionals. Then we have the youth program called Impact, youth development program called Impact. That will be held on Saturday, 7 o'clock to about 10:30 or 11 o'clock. So it's so great that there's no area of life that's not touched, whether spiritual, emotional, psychological, or mental. All these things are going to be addressed with the Bible as the basis of all principles and of all practices. Now, there's a medical aspect to it. There's a free medical service for everybody in this nation. Doctors are coming. They're actually arriving now. 14 of them will be within this nation. Right from tomorrow, Wednesday, we will start to give free medical service to all those who are sick. There will be surgical operations to remove eye cataract, appendicitis, and all those are fibroid. Many things will be done, all free of charge. And so when you come tomorrow, starting from today for screening at SKD, just ask that you are coming for the GCK medical mission. The doctors are arriving already. You go, they screen you, they test you, they take to some vital signs of you. If you need surgery, then they will bill you for surgery. If you don't need surgery, they give you medications and give you injections and give you whatever you need. And then you go home free of charge. Then you get ready for the crusade. Crusade takes up the spiritual aspects of a man's existence, whereas whatever medicine could also do, medicine will do for the people.
Well, that is good news for like New Year. Tell us what are requirements to form part of the ministers' conference as well as the conference.
Thank you very much. The ministers' conference, you are qualified to attend if you are a bishop, you are a pastor, or you are a church worker, like you are a member of the choir, Sunday school teacher, or superintendent, or you're working in the church. You're also qualified to attend. If you're a medical doctor, you're an engineer, you're a trader, you're a professional, whatever, you're a broadcaster, like you. All of them are also qualified to attend the ministers' conference. And that takes place in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. By 10 o'clock, we are done. And that's going to start on Friday this week, then on Monday, and then on Tuesday. The venue is also SK, the sports complex. That's where the crusade will take place. That's where also the conference will take place. That's where the youth conference will take place. That's where even the screening for medical attention will take place. Everything SKD. SKD is anointed now for this program. It's no longer the sports complex it used to be now. It's now God's headquarters of interventions. And I praise God.
Yes, the talk about
Thank you very much. The youths are those who are, by United Nations definition anyway, anybody who is less than 35 years of age is a youth. You may be married and you are still youth if you are less than 35. We have some youths who are already having 6 children or 5 children or 4, but they are less than 35, so they are qualified to attend. The youths are not just who put on school uniforms and still wear white blouse over blue skirts and so on. Anybody who's less than 35 and not less than 13, from teen to 35, whether you are in school or not, you are a youth, and that program is for you. And it's titled The Key to Success Without Limits. I think that's so great because even if you're not youth, you want to have the key to succeed in life and you don't want the success to be limited. So what's the principle? How do we go about it? This man of God who's now 83 years old, who has passed through it all, and is a highly successful man, not only in ministry now in all areas of life. He's an academician. He had a university professor, lecturer before he resigned everything and gave all to Christ. He's a mathematician. He had first class. He's so brilliant. So he has tasted success and he knew how he got it. And then by God's grace, by the Spirit of God, by inspiration, He will show us step by step how we also can succeed in life without stealing. We can become famous without being fraudulent. And He wants to show us how we can be declared great persons without being bad about it and being murderers and being dangerous and being wicked in the society. So anybody from 30 years old to 35, you're a youth. You're qualified for that meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that is great. Is there a targeted crowd you expect at the SKD Spokes complex, especially for the crusade? More than that. Okay.
That place, that crusade. In fact, if we have too much overflow and we couldn't control the crowd, we will likely introduce live streaming. In other words, now we now allow radio stations in Liberia to carry the crusade live on their station. So some may just join their radio station because we are trying to see what's going to happen. The projection is more than 50,000 people to attend the crusade. The ministers' conference, we're expecting 20,000 ministers, and then the youth conference, we're expecting also 20,000. Right now, as I speak to you, workers, church workers, and ministers who have registered for the conference, they are beyond 14,000 now. Pre-registration. And those who have registered for the youth conference, they are already also about 16,000. So registered already, willing to come. And if you're there hearing me now, and you're still scratching your brain whether I should come or you should not come, others are registering. You will not get a seat now. If you come late, you have to get crashed because it's so serious. Since it's free, nobody's paying a dime for it. I want you to come to such a meeting. Sit down, hear the word of God, get prayer, and go home free. You don't pay anything. I believe SKD will receive great number of people this weekend.
What should Liberia as a country expect after this crusade?
This nation is going to experience, number one, the face of Christianity in this nation will be changed permanently. Personally, I don't want to castigate Christianity as it's been practiced now. But I want to say that after this GCK, the face of Christianity, the nomenclature of Christianity, the architecture of Christianity, of the faith, will be changed for good. That's number one. Number two, there will be a release from the bondage of limitations by the forces we do not see and we do not know. No matter how the government is trying to help the nation to grow, there can be invisible forces that are not willing this nation to make it, to make progress, to become. This is the oldest nation in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
The first nation to be independent.
Yeah.
It's Mama Africa. And if it's a Mama Africa, it should be taught. Whatever is keeping the nation down will be overthrown after GCK. And Liberia will take its position in Africa as the mother of freed nations.
Amen.
Of God. Amen. So this is going to be, that will be your total transformation. This is not just crusade. We have had crusades in this nation before. This year alone, we've had how many crusades now? Even at the same SKD. But this is deeper than that and far wider than that because it will challenge the status quo. And it will make sure that this nation is moved from minimum to maximum.
Amen. Amen.
It's going to be universal in impact by the grace of God.
Is there any specific message that Dr. Komoye is bringing for Liberia?
Yes. I can only guess, but I know him. I know him because he's a preacher of holiness, righteousness, and purity. Whatever he preaches, there was a line on holiness. And he has a favorite Bible passage he always quotes. That's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. Dr. Kumi is coming to tell the nation to be holy, to be pure, to eschew sin completely in all its forms and to abstain from appearance of evil if they want to prosper. It's going to discourage wickedness and it's going to preach against darkness, and it will exalt the light of Christ and showing the nation the way of escape from eternal damnation. Dr. Kumwe is going to bring a holistic message, a comprehensive message of freedom, emancipation, and promotion.
Okay. Yeah, so again, a lot of people will be coming. You are saying you are expecting over 50,000 at the crusade. How are
Yes.
you working with state security to ensure safety?
Yes. We understand that such a large amount of people, like crowd, we attract some security risks. We understand that. We're making provision for that. That's a security committee headed by a senior police officer, and then they have been training policemen and all those people, paramilitary forces that will help us to ensure order and to make sure nobody comes there to hijack the process to do their own thing. The IG of this nation is aware about the crusade, and the IG has put security apparatuses in operation now. They are going to take over the security implications of the crusade. So from the presidency to the little person who sits at the kitchen now making a cup of coffee for himself, the crusade is widely known and endorsed by all.
Are you expecting any high-profile government official?
Any what?
High-profile government
Oh,
official?
yes. We're expecting for number one, the first man in this nation. Our father in this nation, the president of Liberia, is expected to attend the meeting because he has endorsed it. He's aware about it. He has discussed it. So we're expecting him. The vice president, the senate president, the speaker, all of them are expected to attend the meeting. At least one of the days.
Okay.
We expect them to come.
That is good. So we will pick some calls from people who are following the show. Maybe they want to ask some question, and after that you can close up by restating the date and all the other activities within the crusade.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, so again, call us this morning on the show. 0770-202579 is the number, and the guest in studio here is Pastor Soji Ajayi Albert, here talking about the Global Crusade with Komoyi happening at the SKD Sports Complex beginning on Thursday. The first caller.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning to you. This is Bishop Sam. I'm glad to be in the show. I've been following. Of course, I have to follow Brother Ansu and your teammate. Want to say thank you so much. Is it okay to just spend 30 seconds to say a few things?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Pastor Soji, Elder Minister, I want to say thank you so much. You have been Pastor Soji didn't tell you guys that he's also a journalist before he became pastor.
Yes, because his articulation is.
He knows the game. Yeah. Look, GCK Liberia, I serve as a media consultant, and we have been on the field, and this crusade is none of its kind. Just as the NC has said, it's just perfectly said. Now, I want to use another second to just share my testimony. I was born a youth, a boy, when I began to follow Pastor Koyi. And one thing that at 50 years, I'm 50 years plus, and sometimes I have to use reading glasses. That old man at over 82, 83, I think.
Yes.
It does not use, that grace is so enviable. And he being one of those elders that stepped their feet on this Liberian soil this year, I think Liberia is set for a turnaround. We have said it before, we have sung it before. What I am feeling, what I am seeing is an apostolic visitation and a divine encounter. Imagine crusade offering free medical services. Everybody, as a matter of fact, you have nothing on the news by now. You go and do your screening. A dime is not charged anyone. The Ministry of Health is in line with this, and they are bringing medication. They are doing surgery. I haven't seen this in 40 years. I've not seen this in 40 years. So
I want Liberians to take advantage of it. I want all believers to spread the news. We want to win souls. That soul winning stuff is a big deal entirely. And we're going to go from radio to radio because we know the power of the electronic media. I want to say thank you to Truth FM and to the Truth Breakfast Show for allowing us this morning. We just want people to get ready. The owner is coming tomorrow. And as a media consultant, I'm inviting all media outlets. We'll be chartering a bus to take everyone. We want this on the news. And everyone that is coming registered with me, we want them to cover the coming of the we'll be having press conference at around 6:30 p.m. tomorrow at RIA. We want media houses to kindly come. And on Thursday, 4:30, let the stadium be jam-packed with souls. Music, dramatization, all kinds of things. Powerful media equipment are there so that all the other nations of the earth will be following as the tradition of the GCK is. We want to celebrate God's servant that is coming. Who knows? Maybe he comes to tell us goodbye. Maybe the Lord will take him in 20, 30 years. We don't know when next he will come to Liberia. Yes. We want to scream every anointing that he has. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's take this caller now. We'll just take at least 3 because of time. Good morning.
Yeah,
good morning.
I'm from
Okay.
I'm wondering if you will extend this opportunity to other parts of Mandora, like coming up to Broadway, because many are very far from Eskimo.
Yeah, so I think you as you listen to Pastor Soji, the crusade and all activities are happening at the SKD Sports Complex in Kingsville here. So you can make your way there. Yes. So I'm not thinking it's something where they will do any kind of going out of Monrovia. I'm not sure of that.
Maybe producer, sir. Maybe I should just drop this in.
Yeah.
That will be transportation subsidy.
Okay.
In other words, we're going to have some buses. Some buses will be hired, and we take people from specific locations to SKD.
So he called from Brewerville. Brewerville is somewhere.
That's a location there, Brewerville. But I just want to advise him not to wait for the bus, because the bus will surely come, and the bus will fly the place for 4 times before the crusade starts. They start taking people right from 11 a.m. in the morning. They start 11 a.m. in the morning till 4. When the crusade starts, the bus stops are applying from various locations. We're going to tell you these locations very soon, maybe later in another announcement, because I don't have the spots now here. But in various locations, we're going to have the bus stations. You go there and you'll be helped. If you are waiting for the bus and the bus has gone down to SKD and the bus is yet to return, please make your way there. Don't just wait, because if you get there late, to enter the stadium might be a very challenging exercise, because the place will be fully filled up. We may have to lock the gate even now against people. If the crowd is getting too much for us to manage, then we have to lock people outside. So bus transportation will be available by buses from various locations in the city. But if you don't find the bus when you arrive at the locations, don't waste your time waiting.
Yeah, so Pastor Soji, because of time, we'll just give you the last 2 minutes to close us up on this interview by giving us major information.
Thank you very much. Major information. Number 1, the crusade starts on the 28th of November. That's this Thursday, and we end on the 3rd of December by the grace of God. Crusades in the evening, ministers' conference in the morning time. Then on the Saturday, youth impact. Everyone who's from 30 years old to 35 are expected to come to that impact. That's the morning time, 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. to 10:30, to come and listen to how to succeed in life without limitation. There will be other symposium and other seminars there for the youths from age 13, whether you're in school or not, to age 35, whether you're single or married. Also, ministers and professional conference will be held on Friday, on Tuesday, on Monday, and on Tuesday in the morning, 7 o'clock also, and in about 10:30 for all ministers, for all church workers, and for all professionals. All of you are invited to come and learn something about unlimited power for life and ministry. We need the power for life. We need the power for ministry. If you are weak as a minister, if you're weak as a church worker, if you're weak as a professional, and you're not succeeding, and you're just limited in your ministry, and you don't even know how to navigate all these are very challenging terrain of human activities, this is a time for you to get the liberation that you so desire. Buses will be provided from various locations. Look for them. We will announce to you later on other shows where you get the buses. But then don't wait for the buses, please. Don't wait for them because you may miss. You will not be able to get a seat in the stadium or even enter at all. The buses will be there. We're ironing about 10 plus 7, 17 buses, putting them outside by the grace of God, and we believe you're going to catch one of them. But then, if you are late to to the spots where the buses are taking people, just don't wait. Don't wait at the bus station. Just come down by yourself. The bus will take you back home. Other things we need to say is get ready to come and receive the blessings of the Lord. On Sunday now, we have a global worship service. All churches are coming in the morning to fellowship together. We want to test out the unity of the church that we have been preaching about. We are one, the church is one foundation, and Christ is a savior. That's all right. Now on Sunday, we want to test that now. All churches, Pentecostal, charismatic, mainline churches, Orthodox churches, whosoever you are, pastors and fathers and bishops, we are all agreeing together that we want to come together on Sunday, 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at SKD to have a global worship service. Other nations are joining. Other nations are joining. And it's going to be very, very bad if they just zero in on Liberia and they see the stadium empty on Sunday. That shows that the churches in Liberia are not united. But for us now to put to the world that we are united, make sure you release your members. They will come back to you. Nobody's stealing your sheep, right? And nobody's taking your tithes and offerings for that day. Let that go for the Lord. Bring them down to our stadium. They come back to you stronger, wiser, and purer, and whiter than snow. God bless you all as we make ready to attend GCK, the Global Crusade with Kumuyi, taking place on this Thursday to 3rd of December. I'll see you there.
Well, thank you ever so much. Pastor Soji Ajayi Abert is one of the organizers and coordinators of the Global Crusade with Kumoye happening at the SKD Sports Complex this Thursday. So yes, he's been here giving us major updates and information about the crusade. You can form part of it, and the blessing of God flow across the nation. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, so this is all the time we've got to be with you this morning on the show. We'll be here tomorrow again with another edition of the program, The Truth Breakfast Show. My name is Marka Davis. Ansu Sirleaf has been here with us, and Henry Jala has been streaming us live on Real TV on Facebook. Do have yourself a wonderful Tuesday. Bye-bye.